Welcome, everyone. My name is Shawna Calderwood. I am the Commercial Partnerships and Travel Trade Manager at Destination Canada. Thank you for joining our webinar today on British Columbia. Perched on the edge of the Pacific Ocean, British Columbia encompasses everything from the towering Canadian Rocky Mountains to the pristine beaches of Vancouver Island, the ranchlands of Caribou Cowboy Country, the vineyards of the Okanagan Valley, and the bright lights of beautiful Vancouver. To tell you all about it is Sascha Bendt, the Marketing Coordinator for North America at Destination British Columbia. Welcome, Sascha.
Well, thanks, Shawna, and thanks to everyone taking the time to learn more about British Columbia. British Columbia is the westernmost province in Canada. We have the Pacific Ocean to the west, the province of Alberta to the east, and we're just above the state of Washington. Vancouver is our gateway city, and it's only 3 hours by car or coach from Seattle, so Seattle can also be a gateway for visitors. If one is traveling to the Kootenay Rockies on the east side of BC, Calgary can be used as the gateway city there. Given BC's unique location, we offer a variety of experiences to enjoy, and there is something for everyone here.
If you seek the vast, the wild, the ancient, if you seek adventure, calm, beauty, flavor, connection, look no further than outside your door. British Columbia's sprawling backyard is waiting for you, the wild at heart. Our home is unlike any other place on Earth. And now it's time to return to all its natural beauty. It's time to explore BC.
As you can see from the video, this would be a very long presentation to cover all the amazing things to do in the province. So I'm just going to focus on the popular places and activities available. Be sure to visit our website, hellobc.com, and the interactive map for more in-depth information. BC is definitely a year-round destination. Most visitors come between May and October. However, there are things to see, do, and experience year-round. We really encourage our visitors to come throughout the year, and particularly from October to May, when there is more capacity and prices are lower. Many of BC's destinations enjoy a mild climate, even in the fall, winter, and spring. But let's start with Vancouver and the Sea to Sky area. As mentioned, Vancouver is the gateway city in BC. It's serviced by the Vancouver International Airport, otherwise known as YVR. Vancouver is a very cosmopolitan city, one step away from nature. That's why its slogan is "Spectacular by Nature." It's a very walkable city that can be crossed in between 30 and 45 minutes. The mild temperature in Vancouver makes it easy to get out and enjoy the outdoors, even when the rest of Canada is covered in snow. When spring arrives, 40,000 cherry trees bloom, seemingly suspending the city in clouds of pink, fluffy petals. Cherry blossom season, which begins in March, is definitely a photographer's dream, but venture a bit further afield and you'll find gorgeous blooms of many varieties across the southern region of BC. A visit to Vancouver wouldn't be complete without stopping by Stanley Park. Stanley Park is one of the largest urban forests in North America. Within the park, there are all kinds of activities to enjoy. One of the most popular activities to do in Vancouver is to rent bikes and cycle around the park. It's a really easy ride for most people as it is completely flat the whole way and takes about an hour on average to go all the way around. There are also attractions, restaurants, playgrounds, a swimming pool, lawn bowling club, and much more, all found within the park. Another must-see in Vancouver is Granville Island. Fun fact, it's Canada's second most visited attraction after Niagara Falls. One can explore the public market on their own or with a guided tour for a variety of tastings from local vendors in the market. There are also many art studios, restaurants, and shops. One could easily spend a full day here exploring. When visitors arrive at YVR, they actually arrive in Richmond, just south of Vancouver. Richmond is a thriving city where culture and character converge in a stunning setting. Here you can find some of the best Chinese cuisine outside of Asia. Steveston Village in Richmond is a lovely place to visit year-round. Here you can rent a bicycle and explore the dikes. There is also whale watching tours that leave from this area. Each day, fishers sell their seafood on the pier, and there are lots of patios and restaurants to eat fish and chips and seafood chowder. And speaking of fresh seafood and food, throughout BC, one will find a variety of cuisine, casual to fine dining, and lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. With regards to different types of cuisine, particularly in the major cities, one will find Western, Japanese, Chinese, Indian, Vietnamese, Italian, German, Mexican, just to name a few. And of course, if we talk about food, we have to mention all the breweries, wineries, and cideries in BC, but more on those later. There are so many amazing road trips that one can enjoy in BC, including the Sea to Sky Highway pictured here that travels along the Howe Sound from Vancouver to Whistler. Howe Sound offers spectacular scenery by road, but also from being on a boat on the water. One can see lots of different types of sea life, including birds and seals. You even have a very good chance of viewing bald eagles. And speaking of eagles, did you know that the area called Brackendale, located halfway up to Whistler, is home to North America's largest bald eagle count? The best time to see them is actually in November to February. Also halfway between Vancouver and Whistler is the town of Squamish. This is a great place for your clients who want a day trip from Vancouver but don't have time to get all the way to Whistler. Squamish is billed as the outdoor recreation capital of Canada, with adventure activities such as mountain biking, windsurfing, climbing, just to name a few. Continuing up the Sea to Sky Highway is the mountain resort community of Whistler. It is very well known as one of the best ski and snowboard resorts in North America, but it's also very popular year-round. In Whistler Village, visitors will enjoy over 200 shops and over 100 restaurants while strolling within the pedestrian alpine-style village. Whistler is comprised of two massive mountains called Whistler Mountain and Blackcomb Mountain. They are situated side by side and are accessed by gondolas. Once at the top of the lifts, one can enjoy views, walking, hiking, and dining. Whistler is an adventure seeker's dream with so many outdoor adventures to try. There is cycling, mountain biking, kayaking, river rafting, hiking, ATVing, and ziplining, amongst many other things. In addition to outdoor adventure activities, Whistler has several cultural activities that are great for visitors year-round. Throughout the province, there are a variety of cultural and Indigenous experiences available. A great resource for both you and your clients is Indigenous Tourism BC. We highly recommend you download their Trip Planner app, where you can find which businesses are open, hotels, activity providers, and many more. You can find authentic Indigenous experiences, learn common words and phrases, and hear traditional songs, stories, and legends. You can save your favorites to create your own custom itinerary, then use the interactive map to find attractions and experiences once you've arrived in BC. Heading west across Howe Sound and the Georgia Strait brings you to Vancouver Island. Vancouver Island is a popular destination for both locals and visitors. It's home to rugged West Coast beaches and coastline, centuries-old rainforest, and BC's capital city, Victoria. Most people arrive on the island with BC Ferries, which operates one of the most sophisticated ferry systems in the world, with multiple departures daily. Visitors can also take a float plane or helicopter from downtown Vancouver to Victoria. The Victoria Inner Harbour is the focal point for tourism. Hotels surround the harbour, and there's shopping and attractions with live entertainment that are all within a walking distance. In Victoria, you can browse quaint shops, local markets, and major shopping malls. The city's layout encourages strolling and exploring the many shopping areas at an easy pace. You can also visit Canada's oldest Chinatown, the second oldest in North America after San Francisco. Additionally, there is a very strong historical influence of British heritage in Victoria, and one of the favorite activities is enjoying a traditional afternoon tea. Exciting year-round whale watching and marine wildlife tours are also available based out of Victoria. One can enjoy an in-depth wildlife commentary with emphasis on responsible whale watching practices. Tours are conducted on larger covered vessels or zodiacs for a more adventurous experience. Any trip to Victoria wouldn't be complete without seeing some of their world-famous gardens. So I mentioned breweries earlier. Victoria is home to Canada's first brew pub, and there are almost 200 craft breweries throughout the province, making BC a beer drinker's dream. In order to make it easy for visitors to experience beer during their BC vacations, a BC Ale Trail has been created and offers different ale trail itineraries around the province. There are several craft breweries on Vancouver Island, which make for a great stop as you make your way up the island. Heading up the island to the town of Chemainus, a community on the east coast of southern Vancouver Island, was founded as a logging town in 1858. It's now famous for its outdoor murals. Many of the murals depict the history of the area, including the Indigenous culture. There is a self-guided walking tour around the town. I also recommend stopping here for a long coffee break or lunch, as there are lots of cafes and shops as well. 30 minutes from Nanaimo, where BC ferries also arrive, visitors can enjoy beachcombing in Parksville. The Parksville area has amazing sandy beaches, picture postcard views, world-class biking and hiking trails, and small town charm. Not far from Parksville and on your way to Tofino, you must stop at Cathedral Grove to enjoy the self-guided walk through the amazing old-growth forest. The west coast of Vancouver Island is a great combination with Victoria. On the churning Pacific coastline of BC, the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve features the sandy beaches of the National Park's Long Beach unit. Over 100 sheltered islets make up the Broken Group Islands, popular for kayaking expeditions. Here you'll also find the famous 75-kilometer multi-day West Coast Trail. Tofino and Ucluelet are popular destinations, particularly for surfing, whale or black bear watching, beach explorations, or just relaxing. There are so many trails to explore in the Tofino area. For easy, short trails to some with more of a challenge, one can spend several days exploring. No trip to Tofino is complete without checking out the food scene. From casual to West Coast fine dining, you could eat for days and days. After checking out the rainforest, beaches, and food in the Tofino area, make sure to book a whale watching tour. The best time for whale watching is spring to fall. In the springtime, bear cubs are active, learning from their mom and exploring their new world. From the island, you can access remote lodges for grizzly and other wildlife viewing adventures. It's also the gateway to the Great Bear Rainforest. Back on the mainland, visitors can travel to the southern interior of the province to the Okanagan. Sunny and hot with fragrant sage, lavender fields, and vineyards spanning the hillsides, the long valley is filled with an expansive lake. Popular pursuits include cycling the Kettle Valley Rail Trail and boating on Okanagan Lake. The main centers here are Kamloops and Kelowna. So are you in the mood for some wine tasting? BC has over 200 wineries, with most of them in the Okanagan area. It is like the Napa Valley for BC. Many of the wineries have tasting rooms, dining, and almost all have amazing views. There are also plenty of cideries, breweries, and distilleries in the area. Before all of the wineries and the planting of vineyards, most of the farms were focused on fruit, especially apples. There are still many apple orchards in the Okanagan, as well as many other fruits such as cherries, nectarines, and my personal favorite, peaches. If visitors are interested in picking their own fruit, there are also several U-Pick farms available. All of the fruit ripen and are harvested at different times. Because this region is so plentiful with agriculture, one can enjoy lots of fresh food paired with delicious BC wine throughout the year. But if you need to work off those calories, how about we try some cycling or golfing? Cycling experiences in the region can be self-guided or part of an organized tour, with sections ranging from family-friendly day trips to overnight legs for experienced riders. Additionally, the mountain resorts here all offer summer mountain biking experiences and on-mountain accommodation. And with golf, there's world-class golf throughout the region, which can accommodate the novice through to the pro golfer. So as you travel east from the Okanagan, you reach the Kootenay Rockies region. Visitors can enjoy lots of quaint, small mountain towns such as Nelson, a hidden gem in the Kootenays. It has a vibrant and carefully restored downtown shopping area and a busy social scene with live performances, arts, and music nearly every night of the week. The legacy of the past is evident in the more than 350 preserved heritage buildings here. Also, while on a Kootenay Rockies road trip, make sure to visit one of the many hot springs in the area. From pools to natural springs, there are so many hot springs that they have named a road trip after them called the Hot Springs Circle Route. There are so many hiking trails in the Kootenay Rockies to experience. Many of them can be accessed via the 4 national parks located in the region: Yoho National Park, Glacier National Park, Kootenay National Park, and Revelstoke National Park. And heading to the northern half of the province, the area is rich with history. The Gold Rush Trail begins at the mouth of the Fraser River in the south of the province and winds its way north to Barkerville Historic Town and Park. It follows the traditional Indigenous peoples' trading routes utilized during the fur trade and expanded during the gold rushes of 1858 to 1862. Today's Gold Rush Trail is an experiential corridor, a journey of stories, peoples, activities, and places that we share with our visitors. At the heart of BC's cowboy culture are the Caribou in Chilcotin, home to over half of the province's guest ranches. For a powerful connection to nature and the wild, guest ranches in BC offer plenty of room to roam and beautiful animals to explore the varied terrain with. For freshwater fishing, the Caribou's Highway 24 is known as the Fishing Highway for its 100+ lakes. Whether fly fishing, trolling, or spin casting, fishing for rainbow, lake, and brook trout, as well as other fish, it's easy to find a lake in this area of the province. The diversity of fishing options is what sets me apart. Across the province, take your pick from lake, river, or ocean fishing. Everywhere you go, the scenery rivals the catch. Of course, when we talk about fishing, we have to mention the amazing salmon run. The salmon run takes place in the fall season, with the salmon returning to the streams and rivers where they were born so they can spawn and lay their eggs. Throughout BC, there are several accessible areas to view the salmon run. And of course, the bears are very happy when the fall season comes around, as they can feast on the salmon before taking a nap and hibernating for the winter. This makes the fall season a prime time for bear viewing. So if you're looking for perspective, connection with nature, and space to roam, look to the very northern part of BC. From glacial valleys and soaring mountain peaks to dense forests and sweeping wildlife parks, the wilderness here is at a different scale. From Prince George to the Alaska Highway to the Stuart Cassia, travel along historic scenic routes, exploring small towns and connecting with local culture along the way. A good starting point for a northern adventure is Prince George. It's known as the gateway to northern BC. Bustling with arts and culture and a flourishing dining scene, it's the perfect place to stock up before your adventure north up the Alaska Highway. And Haida Gwaii is an ideal destination to experience the rugged and remote wilderness that BC is known for. The area is nicknamed Canada's Galapagos for its diverse plant and animal life, and the totem pole and longhouse remains are some of the oldest authentic examples of coastal First Nations villages. As with all Indigenous areas, ensure you visit with curiosity and respect. Check in advance using the Indigenous Tourism BC app I mentioned earlier to ensure the communities are open to welcoming visitors at the time your clients are planning for. Often cited as one of the most beautiful drives in BC, the final stretch of Route 16 from Terrace to Prince Rupert follows the Skeena River to the Pacific Ocean. Continue the scenic journey from Prince Rupert by sailing through the Inside Passage on BC ferries from Prince Rupert to Port Hardy on the northern tip of Vancouver Island. And don't forget, there are many places in BC where you can see the Northern Lights. The northern half of the province provides some of the best vantage points. Let's wrap up by briefly talking about winter. What do you think about when you think about winter in BC? Snow, winter activities? For the most part, you are right. BC has 13 world-class ski resorts and truly is a skiing mecca. And here's a video to give you a taste of everything BC has to offer in the winter. But you don't have to be an avid skier to enjoy everything BC has to offer in the winter. There are lots of milder winter activities such as cross-country skiing, and dog sledding is another great winter activity that visitors love. but we have so much great product to see in the winter season. There's several attractions illuminated for the month of December. Vancouver and Victoria alone, one could easily spend a week getting in the festive spirit. And during the fall and winter months, powerful storms barrel across the Pacific Ocean, making the communities on the west coast of Vancouver Island the perfect place for storm watching. Although that's where the concept originated, you can hunker down facing the ocean anywhere along BC's vast coastline, from the Sunshine Coast to Haida Gwaii, to enjoy nature's show. So as you can see, there is a vast array of experiences and cities for one to enjoy in BC at any time of year. And this was just a sample of what we have to offer.
That was fantastic. From massive mountain ranges and windswept beaches to rainforests overflowing with life, there is no shortage of natural beauty to discover in British Columbia. A couple questions for you. When is the best time to visit BC?
That's a great question, Shawna. BC has the mildest temperatures of all the Canadian provinces and territories, making any time a good time of year to visit. But it really does depend on what you want to do during your time here. For example, if you want to go wildlife viewing, spring and fall are perfect for that. Fall for bear viewing to coincide with the salmon run, and fall is also harvest season, so it's a delicious time to visit. And of course, December through to April for all the skiers out there to hit the slopes in winter.
Well, speaking of skiing, not all of us are the best skiers in the world. So what are the resorts like in BC, and do I have to be an expert skier to actually enjoy them?
We have 13 ski resorts in BC, and all of them are unique in their own way. I could do a whole separate presentation on the resorts themselves, but by no means do you have to be an expert skier to enjoy your winter vacation at any one of the resorts. I actually learned to ski at one of them. But on most people's bucket list is, of course, Whistler Blackcomb. It's our most famous and consistently top-rated resort. For families, I recommend heading to the Okanagan resorts of Big White, Silver Star, or Sun Peaks. And for the more adventurous, the Kootenay Rockies is home to the Powder Highway, aptly named after the abundance of snow. But Shawna, I'll tell you a secret. My favorite part about a winter vacation in BC is all of the other activities available at the resorts, and of course, the après skiing.
That sounds fantastic. Well, that takes us to the end of our webinar. Thank you, Sascha, for sharing your passion for your home province with us today. And to those of you at home, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate you taking the time. Until next time, take care.